The meat grinder is real. You might believe you'd never willingly go to war, you'll never give your life for some flag, but what if I told you you don't get a choice? And by the end of this video, you'll see why. If your leader wants it, you will die for your country. And Skyrim illustrates this perfectly. Remember when we were kids and our parents told us to eat our vegetables? And we would always respond, no mum, I will not eat a single vegetable. I despise you and all that you stand for. And then she hits you with eat your vegetables or no ice cream. This, my friend, is the art of persuasion. And throughout our lives, we've ran into this beast hundreds of times. Now imagine you're a little older, Gavin and Bertrude have tied up Jimbo and left him in Epping Forest. Would you keep your mouth closed? Would you turn them in? Those are your friends after all, but that's a pretty cruel thing to do, right? But then they tell you Jimbo put gum in Bertrude's hair and pulled Gavin's pants down during gym class. Suddenly, your feelings change. Anger, frustration, maybe even a sense of moral outrage. These are real psychological triggers. Humans aren't motivated to hurt people blindly. We respond to perceived injustice, to violations of trust, to threats against people or things we care about. And that's exactly what makes armies, mobs, and even Skyrim's militia tick. People aren't marching for flags or abstract ideals. In Skyrim's civil war, you're just another soldier being marched towards the front lines. You don't choose the battle. You don't choose the cause. You just follow orders and die. And if you think that's just fantasy, think again. In modern times, people march because they've been emotionally manipulated, morally outraged, or socially coerced. During World War I, we're led to believe that men were just extremely patriotic. Boy, were we wrong. At the start of the war, the British Army relied on volunteers. Most men only joined because staying home looked cowardly. Propaganda exploited this like crazy. Newspapers and posters would shame men that didn't enlist. Slogans like "Women of Britain say go" were plastered everywhere. You weren't gonna sit this one out and still bag yourself a hot mamacita because the leaders of Britain at the time wanted you fighting. Skyrim's civil war looks like fantasy, but it's really just history reskinned with dragons. Or if you mod it out, I made all of the dragons look like Thomas the Tank Engine. Thomas was a problem, fam. Escaping Helgen, Thomas the Tank Engine. Final boss, Thomas the Tank Engine. I was steamrolling content. It really does come down to what are you willing to fight for. In Skyrim, if you don't fight, a dragon will burn your house to the ground, or a gang of bandits will burn your house to the ground, or Lydia will get in your way so many times that you burn your house to the ground. But today, we are a lot more civilized. We have certain protections, no dragons, and no Lydia standing in our way. So how exactly do politicians and governments ensure that we are primed to fight? The same way the Skyrim leaders do, fear. Have you ever heard of the small European nation named Formolia? A population of 7 million, an authoritarian government that still uses slave labor. They kidnap children from neighboring countries and create adverts to sell these children on the black market. What would you do to free these children? What if they kidnapped 10 British children and 3 Americans? Would you be willing to fight? Would you be willing to destroy that nation? Even if it meant you were putting your own life at risk. Well, put down your pitchforks, guys. I just made that place up. I know, I'm a horrible person. Well, not really, because those places really do exist around the world. But this video isn't about that. But you see how easy it is to tug on your heartstrings and push you into a rage. Skyrim has these emotional triggers too. Every time a dragon attacks Riverwood, every villager runs outside trying to fend it off. If you stand back and don't do anything, well, all of the gracious people of Riverwood that helped you early on are gonna face a crispy death. So you throw yourself into battle, but not because the king would have wanted it, not because they fly the same flag you do, but because these people are your friends and took care of you. What if your leaders told you that the people of Formolia have invaded your city? They burned down your old school, started robbing elderly and school kids outside the train station. They even started yelling into baby buggies. Who does that? You'd have to fight back, right? What I've noticed recently is this anger spreading across the world. Party versus party. They have triggered you so many times now that the other side don't even feel like humans. The other side are absolutely crazy, whack jobs, or just willfully stupid. That our country would be a better place if we backspaced 50% of our population. That's crazy. Yet we have been emotionally manipulated by the news, by the media, to such an extent that we are primed for war against our own people. Remember, nobody ever died yelling for king and country. They died yelling, Jerry, get down. Or in Skyrim's case, Lydia, stop blocking the door. People fight for their friends or for survival. In London, the thought of dying for your country is laughable. But for justice or protecting the vulnerable, for combating racism or prejudice, that's different. We might not charge a dragon because a politician told us to, but if that dragon was eating children, suddenly everyone's a Dragonborn. So the next time someone tells you to march, just remember, the dragon might not even be real.